Oh, okay. We dropped something. Let me start by saying good afternoon to everyone. It's an honor and a privilege to be here on today. We're going to literally sign 3 public safety related bills into law here in our great city of Philadelphia. And from day one, I've been adamant in my promise and my commitment to the people of Philadelphia that this administration would do everything in its power to restore order in our city. And we talked about a framework that was focused on prevention, intervention, and enforcement. We will do everything that we possibly can to build a city that addresses immediate safety concerns and ultimately fosters long-term community resilience. I'm proud to be here to sign these 3 pieces of legislation that will enhance public safety and quality of life in our most vulnerable neighborhoods into law. I want to thank Councilmember Curtis Jones, Mike Driscoll, and Councilmember Lozada for their leadership in championing these bills. And if it's okay for you all to give them a huge round of applause. Today's bill signing signifies our collective commitment to ensuring that Philadelphia is literally a safer, cleaner, and greener city with access to economic opportunity for all. The first bill that you're going to hear me speak about in detail, I want to affirm, is something that the sponsor knows has been a thorn in my side. At gas stations and convenience stores, owners have been installing gambling machines for some time, since I was a member of the body. I'm proud to stand with Councilmember Jones and say that it is not okay to tempt our residents from low and moderate income neighborhoods with opportunities to gamble away their hard-earned dollars. It is not okay to give children purchasing candy an opportunity to gamble with their lunch money. It is not okay to create situations where those who are interested in mugging Philadelphians literally wait outside of gas stations in the middle of residential areas to rob people of money that they won illegally gambling. I want to thank you, Councilmember Jones, for pushing forward with legislation that will crack down on this quality of life issue. And, you know, as soon as the bill was passed, I read all of the articles that said this legislation is going to face legal challenges in the court of law. And those who serve with me on council know that I wholeheartedly believe that's why we have one of the best law departments and the strongest city solicitor in the Commonwealth. So I want you to know, Councilmember Jones, I am ready, willing, and able Now, I know you've actually visited a court, the appellate court. You didn't care if it was local, state, or federal. If there's something we need to do and a place we need to be to stand up for legislation sponsored by our city, and we need to be there, I want you to know you won't be there alone. Your mayor will be right by your side if we ever need to do that. I want you to know that. We support this bill, and on today, I am signing it into law. The next is sponsored by Councilmember Driscoll, and this is the illegal license plate flipper concept. Councilmember Driscoll, I don't know if you thought about the fact that when you were working on this legislation, it had a direct connection between violence being committed in the city of Philadelphia, especially when there is a getaway vehicle that is usually parked somewhere close to where the crime is taking place, and then somebody is trying to flee the scene, and they employ the use of an illegal license plate flipper. I want to thank you for crafting this legislation, Councilmember Driscoll, to address the use of license plate flipping devices. If you now think that you can commit a crime in the city and evade detection from law enforcement by obscuring your license plate, know now that because of Mike Driscoll's leadership, we will find you. We had to pass the law. He sponsored it. His colleagues supported it. Council got it through the legislative body, and I am going to sign it. If you are operating an auto shop and you're selling and installing these devices, giving people the means to do what I call sow chaos into our city, that ends today using this tool. As Councilmember Driscoll has been saying, these 007 devices, I think that's the term that you use, these 007 devices, they belong in an action movie. They do not belong on the streets of our great city of Philadelphia, and I want to thank Councilmember Driscoll for his leadership. Please give him a round of applause. Thank you. Councilmember Ketsi Lazada, you have shown more courage and heart and a willingness to, in a very meaningful way, collaborate and employ the use of data-driven and research-based responses that will help us address quality of life issues in the Kensington community, of which you are no Johnny-come-lately partner. You're a resident, you're a stakeholder, you're a leader, and that's why I'm proud on today to thank Councilmember Lazada for her legislation addressing the disorder that takes place overnight in Kensington. You know, some people, even those who intend to do good, get the luxury of coming in to do whatever it is that they decide that they want to do, even when it's good work, but some people get the ability to leave. And they don't think about the quality of life of the people who live there on a daily basis. So gone are the days when you can fuel disorder in Kensington by operating your business into the wee hours of the morning. We will not allow nuisance businesses to remain open all day and all night to prey on people with substance use disorder, suffering with addiction. Gone are the days when responsible business owners, and we have some beard winners there who are trying to operate restaurants and others who immediately come to mind, clean up after nuisance businesses that have operated all night so they can do what they do to conduct business. I've been very clear that this administration will use every tool in the toolbox to tackle the disorder that we have seen in Kensington. I want to commend also Councilmember Lazada and members Harity, Driscoll, and Squilla for forming. They are the heartbeat of the Kensington caucus in the City Council of Philadelphia, and I want to thank each and every one of them for their diligence and partnership on this issue. Finally, I want to say this, and this is about all of the bills, all three of them. We are not going to tolerate chaos and disorder in our city, period. We will restore a sense of order and public safety to our city of Philadelphia. And although I'm the mayor of our city, I need you to know, Philadelphia, I can't do it alone. I can only do it in partnership with the brave men and women you see behind me, who in a very meticulous manner work extremely hard to craft legislative policies that we can enact here in our city of Philadelphia and sign into law that will govern how we do business here in the city of Philadelphia. So I want to thank each and every one of you for being here. Council Member Young, I want to thank you for your presence, and to say that in essence, and I don't know about you, I think about this as intergovernmental cooperation. The executive of the city of Philadelphia is standing here in partnership with members of the legislative branch who have each led in their individual respective rights. And today we just gonna sign on a dotted line and make it all official. This is what we need to move our city forward. So I'm going to sit here. I think I have some specific instructions about which pen to use, where, but we're going to make sure we get that done now. Can you all come and join me over here? The first bill that we are going to sign is Councilmember Jones's bill. It's bill number 240010-A. Okay. I want you to hold that for me, if you will. The next one, wait a minute, is Driscoll's. And this is bill number 240089-A. Driscoll.
Thank you, Mayor.
With that. And the final one is Lozada. This is what intergovernmental cooperation and planning looks like. Questions you may have.
Maybe first about the bill, if it's possible. About the bill.
Yes. I'm sorry, repeat it.
Should other commercial corridors adhere to curfews?
You know, the one thing that I respect a great deal about the city of Philadelphia is that we're a city of neighborhoods. And when it comes to addressing quality of life issues in some instances, like a curfew, I think that needs to be decided on a neighborhood by neighborhood basis. Let me give you an example. When I was a staffer in the 9th District, even before I got elected, closed grates were a challenge on our commercial corridors, and we felt like they sent a really bad signal to people about doing business. Even if you had a grate down for security, if you were walking through, we wanted you to be able to see what was, behind the grate and say, maybe I'll come back and visit another day. In some neighborhoods, that was not something that was desired. So in this instance, as it relates to Councilwoman Lozada's bill, I think district council members representing specific regions across the city, they'll work in partnership with their business associations, community-based organizations, and decide if something similar would be appropriate for their regions. Thank you so very much for that question, and I appreciate it. I appreciate it for two reasons. First, you publicly affirmed that as it relates to the data, that is the quantitative research, that we are seeing a statistical reduction in the amount of crime. But I also appreciated the fact that you affirmed that that doesn't always connect with how people feel. And how people feel in our city is extremely important. So we should be doing everything that we possibly can to ensure that, one, we reduce violent crime, all crime in the city of Philadelphia, and with our ultimate goal being to eliminate it. That's the goal. But we also have to make sure that we are paying attention to how people feel in our city. You know, we want them to feel safe when they're walking in our neighborhoods and down our streets. And I think the partnership that you've seen here today, and quite frankly, all three, the reason why we signed all of the bills together is, although they have distinct subject matters, all of them impact public safety and quality of life here in the city of Philadelphia. And I was pleased that, in fact, many, although isolated, like the gambling machines, and then they are stores, and then they are the license plate flippers, all of them are connected. And, you know, we're going to make sure we do everything that we can to not just, you know, substantially reduce crime as much as we possibly can, but we want to create an environment. This is what safe, clean, and green economic opportunity for all is about, making people feel safe and, quite frankly, proud, again, about walking in neighborhoods across the city of Philadelphia. Yes, sir. Well, the first thing that we needed to do was sign the bills into law here. Now that we've signed them into law, we have our police commissioner. We have Basil Miranda, who is our L&I commissioner on the building safety side, Bridget Greenwald on the quality of life enforcement side. So now the enforcement entities all come together to figure out how do we enforce the law. And this is when their work, so they've done the work of getting us here. Now the Parker administration has to work to ensure that we are enforcing the laws that were passed by the legislative body. But very good question. Thank you for that. Yes? I would say to you that one, I've been very direct with the people of the city of Philadelphia in letting them know what my personal stance was on the issue of safe injection sites. And the court ruled, justice was realized on today, and I'm sure that folks will make sure that the law is enforced. But for the city of Philadelphia, we're going to be focused on prevention, intervention, and enforcement, long-term care, treatment, and housing as it relates to the opioid crisis. That does not mean that harm reduction strategies, that we do have science to affirm that they are extremely helpful. That does not mean that we don't need those as a part of the equation. But the area where the city of Philadelphia has faltered is that we've done nothing to establish the ecosystem that will comprise the medium and long term, right? And that's what we are working on now. That's the hard work. And quite frankly, because we're building that infrastructure, that's where we have the least amount of funds, So that's what we're going to be focused on. One more question. Yes, sir. Well, Councilmember, you can respond, but I want to say this. Listen, and we did this yesterday. Someone asked me, listen, after we introduced the school board nominees and we said we were sending them down to council for consideration, someone asked, well, what's the plan if council does not approve, nominees that you sent down? And I said, well, wait, I'm elected mayor. I'm not a gypsy. I can't predict the future. I don't know what will happen in the future. So I don't know about you, but the judge hasn't given me a schedule. You?
I like that answer. I just want to thank you, Madam Mayor, for being the same person elected as you were as a candidate. And to, I look forward to the 100-day plan and what your vision is. But what I can say right now, today, is that you talked it and now you're walking it. And I am thankful. So thank you for that. To answer your question, we don't know. And we hope that a lot of things happen, that the conversations continue, that our relationships with the state continue to try to work it out. But what this mayor and this council did today was say that after 2017, enough is enough. Let's figure it out. And we'll figure it out together, or we'll figure it out ourselves, or we'll figure it out in court.
Absolutely. I think that we've not only seen it, but we've also heard it from students and families and businesses as well. They're starting to get re-energized and they want to be a part of the process. And so I think that we're in a completely different place than we were just 30 days ago. And I hope that in partnership with the administration that we're going to continue to see improvement in quality of life there.
Councilmember Harity, any comment? That's
Well,
your neighborhood you live in.
Listen, everybody knows I live there, and the changes that are already happened have given so much hope to that neighborhood. The cleanliness, I mean, it's amazing how fast things get clean when you have somebody that wants to do it. Mayor Parker made a commitment to that neighborhood, and she is not letting us down. And, as the Kensington caucus, we're all working together. We're going to get this done, and we're going to give these people a fair opportunity. Opportunities for everyone, opportunities for all.
Yes. Wow. Thank you. Congratulations to each of you on the leadership with the legislation. And together, we don't have a magic wand, but we're doing the best thing that we can do to move our city forward. Thank you all for being here.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Well done.